Welcome to the I Need More Money radio show. I'm your host, Matt Manero. We're kicking it off with another episode. Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's a call-in show, 870-330-4930. Money follows attention, period, end of story. There is no dispute that the more attention you get for yourself, the more money you will make. And take it from me, I didn't want attention. For the first 18 of my 21 years in business, I wanted to run my business under a rock. I didn't want anybody to know who we were. And you know what I got from it? Struggle, pain, aggravation. You know it. You're doing the same thing in your business. Your business hasn't turned. It hasn't done what you thought it was going to do. Neither did mine. Until, guess what? I got out in front of my business and started to be the face of my business and started to promote my business and started to share my story with the world. And our business has exploded, and I want the same to you, because when your business explodes, you're going to make more money. Listen, I'm going to invite my guest for today, Coach Michael Burt. Coach, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good to be with you.
Coach, thank you for being with us. Listen, Coach Burt is a championship coach turned businessman. He's the author of multiple books such as Zebras and Cheetahs, Person of Interest, Swag, and my personal favorite, This Ain't No Practice Life. Coach Burt has also produced his own reality TV show called Zebras and Cheetahs, and Coach has spoken for companies such as Dell, Deloitte, John Hancock, just to name a few. It's my pleasure to welcome my guest and my friend, Coach Burt, to the show. How you doing, pal?
Good to be with you. Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited to be with you. I'm ready to talk person of interest. I'm ready to talk whatever you want to talk about.
Thank you, Coach, and we're going to get right to it because, look, Coach, you and I believe that people need to get out from underneath the rock. They need to become a person of interest and therefore make more money. But Coach, why do so many people resist this concept?
Well, we're taught from an early age the exact opposite. I mean, we're taught not to get attention. We're taught to fit in versus stand out. I remember my mom used to say, son, go to that party and be seen, but don't you dare be heard. And so this is very odd for us, so we don't know how to get attention, and if we do, we go about it the wrong ways, and so there's infamous and there's famous, but the concept is, you said it, money follows attention, money follows energy, money follows circulation, money follows where the action is. It never follows stagnation or being hidden out there in the world. So with the competing businesses, we got to get more attention for our business. That's just the bottom line.
It is the bottom line, and people need to stop resisting it, Coach. As you know my story. You and I are friends. I resisted it for 18 of my 21 years, and it hurt my business, and it hurt my pocketbook. It did. Money follows the attention, period, end of story. We're both 1,000% certain on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think about, we live in such a saturated and commoditized industry, and that's really where I specialize, coaching people that are in industries where there could be 1 million people competing for a space in the world, and if you can't maintain a person's attention, there's too many options, there's too many distractions, and you really have to become famous for something, and that's typically some type of results you can get, some type of point of view that you have, some type of unique process that you created. You really got to become known or celebrated for something in the world. That's your mark in the world that people are attracted to.
Yeah, and what people think, unfortunately, though, Coach, is people begin to think that their story isn't juicy enough, it's not beefy enough, that people aren't going to care, and it's just not true, especially in the business world, because there's so many different businesses, from small business owners, a one-man or one-woman shop, to large, big companies. They're just people, man. And everybody's got a story, and people want to hear your story. The challenge is, do you have the guts to get out there and tell your story? So what do you say to people who believe what we're saying, but they still don't do it, Coach?
Well, think of it this way. Having something to say is just as valuable as having somebody to say it to. Most people are saying the exact same thing that everybody else is saying. They're copying and pasting. They're insiders in the industry that are drinking the Kool-Aid. I like to bring an outside perspective. I like to bring a fresh perspective. I think you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. Now, the distribution channel that you decide to use of your message, my message is clear. Everybody needs a coach in life. I believe in attracting business versus chasing it. I believe in looking different and running faster. Now it's a matter of how many different distribution mechanisms I can share that message with the world. So, because we got to hit people over the head multiple times before they get it, Matt. They don't get it the first time. They got to get it and get it again and get it again and get it again. Some people say, I followed you for 2 years before I bought one thing. Oh, and so they're like, it's almost like a slow drip out of a fire hose versus a water hydrant, you know. So that's the way you got to constantly get your message out to the market.
You know, Coach, I talk about in my book, you know, your mama had it wrong when she told you the most important step was the first step. She was wrong. It's the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. It's the ability to stay the course over a long period of time, and that is a hard thing to do, right?
Well, it's hard. People grow weary. They get tired. They fatigue. They don't see immediate results, which is the biggest reason they give up on it. It's got to be part of your strategy. Your strategy is you got a song to sing, and you got people to sing it too. And every day you're going to wake up and, you know, it's demoralizing to a person to pick up 2 or 3 Twitter followers a day. I get it. I understand. Yeah. But hey, you never know. I've always said I'd rather have 200 stark raving crazy Twitter followers than 200,000 that don't read anything that I post.
Yeah, it's very true. But Coach, let's dig into the person of interest concept. I mean, it's obviously a book that you have. It's a platform that you've used in the speaking aspect of your business. But, you know, the concept is you say to become a person of interest means you are the one being chased versus the person always doing the chasing. But elaborate on the concept a little bit more, Coach, because I'm not so sure everybody really gets that.
Well, every movement, every community is driven typically by people of interest. These are people who are the movers and shakers, the go-getters, the value creators, the people that go first. They live interesting lives. They hang around interesting people. They go to interesting places. They get interesting results. They typically make interesting money. I mean, these are the people that everybody's interested in. And so what happens is we naturally gravitate toward those people. We gravitate toward their influence. We want a piece of their time, a piece of their energy. We want to learn how they do what they do. And so I think we should all aspire to become people of interest. The opposite of interesting is boring, disinteresting, disengaging. You said it. We don't get a practice life, man. I don't want to live a boring life. I want to live an interesting, fascinating life that makes a big mark on the world. So I wake up and say, I want to become a person of interest because of the impact and influence that we can have in the world when we become these people that other people are attracted to.
You got it, but some people, Coach, think it's just this monster sort of pipe dream. They wish that they could be that person. And I want to give the audience a quick takeaway. A couple weeks ago, I was at a convention in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and the keynote speaker there was Larry Winget. I did some speaking at it as well in the smaller rooms. Winget did the keynote in the big room, and he did a book signing afterwards. And I waited in line because I had my book. I wanted to give him a copy of my book, and I wanted to take a picture with him. And while I was taking the picture with him, I said, Larry, what would I have to do to get you on my radio show? And, you know, he looked me straight in the eye. I said, just ask. And I said, Larry, would you be on my radio show? And he said, I'd be happy to be on your radio show. Just coordinate it with my office. People don't understand. It can literally be as easy as asking for what you want.
Well, when you think about Wing It, Joe Calloway said something about Wing It once that I'll never forget. Calloway said, I wrote the book called Become a Category of One, and Larry Winget's become a Category of One.
2 minutes.
And so when you think about it, we can learn a lot from Wing It about being a person of interest because he's created this persona, he's created this unique perspective, and he's been compensated because he's really stood out in a crowd of saturated coaches and personal development people. He's really become a person of interest in his space by creating this Larry Winget pitbull of personal development concept.
Yeah, no question about it, because I mean, he has a unique message, but I think what people are probably more attracted to, at least on the front end, is just he has this unique look with the cowboy shirts and the custom colorful boots and the handlebar mustache and all that sort of stuff and the earrings. You know, I mean, my point is, to your point in your book Zebras and Cheetahs, I mean, you got to stand out.
Yeah, it's too much saturation in the market, and this is hard for people to do. What we really do is copy and paste what other people do. All the websites look alike. The marketing looks the same.
1 minute.
You know, yeah, it's just, you can't be a person of interest if you're going to look like everybody else.
You got it. Coach, will you stick with us for a segment 2 here? We're down to 1 minute in segment 1, but when we come back, I'd like to give the audience an example of someone in your monster coaching platform, someone that maybe you took who was shying away from being a person of interest. They took your material, they skilled up, and what sort of results they ended up having after becoming a person of interest. Would you be kind enough and share a story like that when we come back?
You got it. I'm here.
Okay. Stick around, Coach. I appreciate you for that.
You're clear.
Coach, you like Bruce Springsteen?
I do like Bruce Springsteen.
I love Bruce Springsteen. We just changed the intro music to Jungle Land. I love that song. So, Coach, thanks again for staying around for segment 2 here. As we start segment 2, what I wanted to do is just recap. We're talking about how do you become a person of interest? Why is a person of interest so important? And you and I have 1,000% conviction that money follows the attention. And the sad part is most people get it. They're just not willing to do attention-grabbing things long enough to make a real impact. They'll do it. They'll do a video. They'll send a tweet every couple days. They'll do a Facebook post. And our concept is you have to do all platforms all the time, right?
Yeah, because if you're not hitting your sales goals, or if your company's not growing, I think there's dynamic, there's static, and there's entropic, and that's really what's happening. So people of interest are always dynamic. They're always moving. They're always progressing. They're always growing. If you're not hitting your sales goals, the market is really telling you you're not interesting enough. You're not of attention. You're not getting enough attention. That's really what the market's telling you.
It is. The data tells a story. Whether people want to believe it or not, the data does tell a story. I'm going to talk about it in segment 3 about some data sharing with some of my lower producing guys as we closed out May, and we were talking about it just yesterday and today. My lowest producing guys don't know their numbers, Coach. I'm digressing a little bit, but they don't know the roadmap to success. They don't know the math of what they have to do for success. And just on a side note, that's such a challenge for most people. They literally have never done the math of what it takes to make 100 or 200 or whatever that annual income number is,
Well, when I'm coaching people that's not hitting their goals, I ask this question: how many leads are you getting? They may or may not know. And then I say, is that enough opportunity? Is that enough opportunity to drive enough deals to close it, to make the amount of money you want to make? And we don't have to be rocket scientists to figure this out. And the answer is no. It's not enough.
They don't know it. So, Coach, what I had promised the audience as we left segment 1 was that you would share a story of someone in your monster coaching platform that, really has maybe been very shy about becoming a person of interest, but they did the steps, they became a person of interest, and they finished with a success story. Would you share one of those for us?
Well, I'm going to pick an obvious for me out of Monster Producer, which is our most elite coaching program. This was a real estate agent I began coaching probably 2 or 3 years ago. Real estate, there's over 1 million real estate agents in the market. It's a very saturated market. Any bozo can enter the market that wants to because of easy entry. And so there's a lot of bottom feeders and mediocre agents that do less than 10 deals. I started coaching this guy named Tommy Davidson who was doing 30 deals a year, 35 deals a year. He really sunk his teeth into person of interest, and he said, I'm going to build a brand. I'm going to become an entrepreneur that aligns with my own personality. So he developed this concept of Good Time Tommy, and people laughed at him, mocked him. They made, because he was breaking the mold of every other boring real estate agent. So he creates this brand around fun and entertaining and upbeat and exciting. And the guy's going to do $20 million of production this year. Revenue. That's about 100 deals. So he's jumped from about 30 to 100 deals. He's now making roughly $250 a year. He is the talk of our town, which is a 260,000 person town. Everybody wants to know what's going on with Good Time Tommy. When we have agents from other parts of the country come into town, out of all of the top agents I coach, they request that they want to have dinner with one person, and it's always Good Time Tommy. So he's become a person of interest, and so because of that, he's got more money in his pocket, and he's really broke the mold of what real estate should be about, which is boring, scripted, automated, and very low-skilled people. He also just negotiated above asking price for my own personal house. And so his negotiating skills are credit to his, so I've been impressed with it.
Oh, that's awesome. And, Coach, that wasn't on the market long, was it? That was a pretty quick sale.
Yeah, it was on the market just a few days, and he did a great job of negotiating and getting multiple offers on and finding the right person for my personal house.
Yeah, I love it. So, Coach, let's just talk about what does it end up looking like? I mean, I think a lot of people are actually afraid of success, and so they don't want to really try. People think that the reason they're not going for it is because they're afraid of failing, but I also believe there's a counter to that they're afraid of success. So when someone becomes this person of interest, what does their life look like? I mean, for Good Time Tommy, when he walks into a restaurant now, there are probably some people who either come up to him and say, oh, you're Good Time Tommy, or they talk about him when he gets there. So what does the life of a person of interest start to look like?
Well, your schedule is booked. Your demand is high. You are becoming a buyer versus a seller. So you're active. No white space on the calendar. You're in demand, which is exactly what you want. You are being sought out by people for your time, for your attention, for your expertise. You really have a unique point of view that other people are attracted to. So your schedule is booked a year in advance, 6 months in advance, and you are out there just creating so much value that other people are beginning to refer you like crazy. So your referability is much higher, your presence is higher, and really being a person of interest is where more people know you than you know them. And so if you're in a local market, my strategy is simple. Dominate the backyard before you dominate the whole yard. So I want all 260,000 people in my market to know who I am, and we've achieved a lot of that because I go places and people say, oh, I've heard of you, or you're that famous coach, or, you know, you did this, or you won a championship, or now you – and they have some idea of who I am. That's one step closer to them thinking about doing business with me. So now they know me. Now they're inquiring. Now they're curious. Now they're interested. And now the next step is take that regional, super regional, national, and then ultimately international. But I've never met a lazy person of interest, Matt. I've never met a person of interest that became a person of interest by being a secret agent and hiding out and staying close to the vest and not really taking it to the world.
Coach, I am a testament to that. I had an old marketing manager who used to grind on me all the time and said, you know, Matt, you need to get out in front of this company. You need to be the face of this company. And I would say to him, if you say that to me one more time, I'm going to fire your butt. There's no way I'm getting to be the face of this company. There's no chance about it. I like the way we are. We're doing fine. And he ended up quitting on me because I didn't believe him. And shortly after that, I became the face of this company, and the company has changed because of it. And my life and the employees' lives and our vendors' lives and our customers' lives have all gotten better because of it. It is an inalienable fact. You need to get in front of your business. You need to become the face of your business. And if you have a story, you need to start telling the story, and the marketplace will positively respond to you. You're not going to get haters. Look, you might get a couple losers that jump in and give you a hard time about it. But in general, people are very kind because they recognize that you're doing something that they couldn't do, and the players recognize that you're doing what you need to do to become a person of interest.
Yeah, it's either ascension, plateau, or descension. And,
1 minute.
And I think that people of interest are always ascending, progressing, dynamic, changing. You know, that's what people of interest are doing.
Coach, I want to thank you for being on my show today. I want to do just a couple quick follow-ups. People can follow Coach Burt on Twitter at @MichaelBurt. You can also go to CoachBurt.com. Coach, what's the name of your new book that's coming out?
New book coming out March. Everybody needs a coach in life. The missing ingredient for your breakthrough life.
I love it, and that's coming out in March of 17?
March of 17, big guys, all the bookstores.
Coach, you're my friend. You're my coach. I appreciate your time today, buddy. Take care of yourself.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks. Bye.
You're clear.
Welcome back. Man, I love that guy, Coach Burt. Not only do I like his material, Coach Michael Burt, you can follow him at Twitter at Michael Burt. You can go to CoachBurt.com. Not only do I like his material, but Coach Burt's become a friend of mine. He's just a good guy. I like him. The people in my office really resonate with his message. We've hired him to do sales training for us before, and I really like Coach Bert's message. But to recap what Coach is talking about, you need to be a person of interest, folks. You need to get out in front of your business, and you need to be able to create attention that separates you from the pack. It's absolutely mission critical. You have to be different, folks. Without the ability of being different, you're just like everybody else. The business is already commoditized. You need to become different. Here's the problem. You know this. You know how the players do it. You know that they want to have more. And so they do things that other people aren't willing to do. You need to get to that space too. You need to remove the fear of either failure or success, and you need to just do it. You need to become a person of interest. Hey, I'm going to go to the board right now. Nancy, are you on the line with us?
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
It's going great, Nancy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day.
Nancy, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City.
Is it a beautiful day in New York City? The sun's out? Because I know it's been raining up there a bunch, right?
It was awful last week, but now we're back on track. It's high 80s and smooth sailing all the way through the rest of the week.
Good. Nancy, did you have a chance to listen in on my previous guest, Coach Michael Burt?
I did. I really liked everything you guys were talking about. I completely agree with everything you're saying. I did want a little clarification, though. When you say that people need to have strong opinions and present themselves, being this person of interest, I was a little confused by that particularly. Are you saying that in order to create your personal brand, you have to have like very, very strong opinions, or can you just literally say what you actually believe, and that is your personal brand? Because I got confused by, I don't know. I feel like there's so much going on in the world now that everyone is black and white. There's no like gray area, and it's a little concerning to me. Do you get what I'm asking?
Yeah, I completely do. It's a very important question, and I struggle with exactly what you're asking for because, look, I'm in business. What I do for the radio show helps people, but it also helps my business and my own personal brand. And one of the things that I struggle with is taking it right down the middle with my messaging. I don't think my opinions are strong to the positive or the negative. And why do I struggle with that? Because I don't want to piss my customers off. I don't want to make my customers mad. My job in doing what I do is to attract more people to me. But guess what? I'm wrong about that. The reality is you get people to become attracted to you because you have the guts to take a stance. And so to answer your question, you need to take a stance. You need to have an opinion, and the opinion will make some people happy and some people unhappy. You can't spend your day crafting your opinion to find the audience. You just literally have to tell the truth. And the downside for that is once you start telling the truth, people may not like it. And so you may lose some customers, but you may gain a ton of other customers as well. And I think one thing that it does is it cleanses you a little bit too, Nancy. When you're telling the truth and you're actually showing your conviction, I think what we all find is more people resonate with that. They appreciate the truth and the pure honesty. And really, Nancy, how old are you?
I'm 22.
So you're of the younger generation. I mean, your generation smells BS a mile away. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, completely. I just feel like social media is such a huge aspect now of everyday life, and you can definitely see through a lot of things just on Twitter alone or on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, when people are being fake or when they're doing things just for the marketing tactic.
I do. I think your generation sees it better than anybody else, especially my generation. I'm 47, and I think my generation grew up with, sort of playing the game as a chess game, right? Well, how do I move from here to here and here to here? And I think your generation has blown that theory right out of the water, and it's tell me the truth, and I will like you or I won't like you. And by the way, you better tell me the truth pretty quick because I ain't going to give you a lot of attention. I'm going to give you a couple minutes, and if I like you, I'm with you. And if I don't like you, I'm moving on to somebody else. And it's a challenge. Your question is a great question about what are you going to do if you're uncomfortable laying out your opinion. And the fact of the matter is You have to do that if you want to get attention.
I agree.
So Nancy, what are you doing to grab attention for yourself? Tell me a little bit about your story and how do you think you could put some of the things that Coach Burt and I have talked about into play in your own world?
Well, right now my big project that I'm working on is I'm producing a web series. I'm an actress, writer, and a producer. I'm producing a web series. We're about to finish filming in this upcoming 2 weeks. And then once it's going to be finished filming, I'm going to edit it. And we had a season 1. I did some social media outreach for it. I don't feel like I did enough, but I was also in school full-time at the time and couldn't focus fully on my project. Now that I've graduated, I'm really planning on doing a huge social media push and reaching out to bloggers. But I don't know, I can't really think of like big things that you've been talking about doing to really get the attention on the show that it needs.
Yeah, so do you feel as though the first season suffered a little bit because you weren't getting enough attention for it, or are you pleased with what you got out of the first episode or first series?
The first series, I mean, I had some creative dissonances with my team at the time, so I don't feel like the final product was 100% what I wanted it to be, and I feel like that might have been a big reason why I didn't put in so much effort in advertising it, to be honest. This second time around, I'm definitely taking more creative control of it. I'm way more pleased with how it's turning out. So I think this time that'll motivate me more to actually promote it.
Yeah, I mean, and promotion needs to be all over the place. I mean, you need to get on the radio, you need to get in front of people, you need to get on the streets with big signs, and you need to get as much attention as you possibly can. I mean, it's a mission critical thing, especially in your world because of the internet now, and everybody has a show, everybody's got a radio show, everybody's got a YouTube channel. It's hard to break through the noise, and what most people are doing to break through the noise, as you know, is they're really getting controversial. And I think that's a big question too, right? How controversial can I be and still not anger or upset my customers? I deal with the same thing. It's not an easy answer. I deal with it all the time. And I work with a media company, and they hammer on me all the time to be more opinionated. And I'm trying to move in that direction, but it's a little bit difficult too when you know you're responsible for a lot of people and their families, and I don't want to be the guy that's doing something that screws up the income opportunity for my people. But you know, the reality is it's a big world out there. You know, I should be so lucky that I can pee off that many people that they choose to not do business with us. I mean, it's a huge world out there. I think sometimes we forget about that too, Nancy, is how big of a planet and a big marketplace it really is. You know, your one controversial tweet or Facebook post or YouTube video is probably not going to pee off anybody.
Right. I think that what you're saying about it being such a big world too, I think what's fascinating about that is that it's scary because there's so many people out there, but at the same time, I feel like that gives businesses now a lot more opportunity to hone in on the kinds of people that are going to care more about what they're doing.
It's the greatest opportunity. It's the greatest opportunity young people have. It's a greater opportunity than it was for me 21 years ago. I started my business with a phone and a Yellow Pages. It's a much better opportunity to start a business today. There's so many more outlets for people to get you to find you, and it's so cost effective. Most free. I mean, we had to make the phone calls, and we had to do direct mail. Or we had to go to trade shows. That's how we had to build our businesses. You know, today you can be a celebrity with a free YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, I think YouTube personalities, I'm so fascinated by them. I go on YouTube, and there's people that are just making thousands of dollars putting up videos of themselves trying on lip gloss. And I'm just like, I could do this from my own bedroom. How are these people doing it? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy.
It's awesome. It's capitalism at its best.
Awesome,
it's
but
fantastic.
It's
It's totally awesome. Nancy, listen, I appreciate your call. I appreciate your awesome questions and your opinions and your thoughts, and I wish you the best of luck on this new film project, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, we just uncovered an important aspect right there. I mean, how do I play it?
1 minute.
Do I play it down the middle of the road? Do I play it safe, or do I play it on the left and the right and the controversial side of it? We're going to talk about that in segment 4 when I come back. I'm going to give you my opinions on it. I'm going to give you my real story on how I struggle with it and what I'm doing to get better at it when we come back. Because stick around, being a person of interest is no joke. The money follows the attention, and without question, you and I need more attention. Stick around.
You're clear. Your mic is on.
It's that time. Boy, we're popping questions on Periscope. We just had a wonderful question on Periscope that said, what do I do when I haven't followed up with a customer in a long time? It's a super question that most businesses are plagued with. Why? Because we don't mine our acres of diamonds. What are our acres of diamonds? They are our existing customers. Look, I have over 10,000 customers that I've done business with. We stink at it. It's a major push of our marketing efforts for 2016 is to figure out how can we mine our acres of diamonds better. Now, we say to our sales team, you need to call your customers every 30 days. We've built our CRM where it has a tab that says previous customers. You just click the tab and start dialing for dollars A through Z. And I struggle to get my sales team to do that every 30 days. Look, some of my top guys have so many customers, they couldn't call them every 30 days. But for the newer guys who don't have as many, they should be calling their customers every single 30 days. Our company should have a better marketing plan so that we can systematize a message into our customer base. I think we have somewhere around 8,000 email addresses on our customers too. We don't. Now, I am making excuses for it, which is we stink at it. And I'm going to make that change. I promise you I'm going to figure out the appropriate way to communicate with our customers on a more regular basis, give them something of benefit, and then eventually ask for more business and some referrals. Now, I got a large customer base, so it's harder for us to do that. If you have a smaller customer base and you haven't followed up with them in a long time, here's the suggestion I gave to the person on Periscope. I said, you just need to call that customer and say, listen, guess why I've forgotten about you? Well, let me rephrase that. Guess why I haven't followed up with you? Because I've been busy building my business. And my business is so much better today than when you trusted me last time. I have new programs for you. I have new discounts for you. I have better pricing for you. I'm better at my craft. So don't hold it against me that I haven't called you in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. I know you've been busy building your business. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And trust me, the customer is not going to hold it against you. I promise you, the customer is not going to hold it against you. That was from Supergel, at Supergel on Periscope, and at Supergel's getting a copy of my book, The Grit. He will direct message me on Twitter with his address, and I will send him a signed copy of my book, The Grit. The book is available at mattmanero.com, and it's a fantastic, quick 100-page read that I hope really gets you re-engaged, re-motivated, gives you some ideas of what you can do within your business to get it to the levels that you want it to be. The concept is, how do we get our businesses out of the pain side of small business and into the pleasure side? The pain we know about, cash flow problems, hiring and firing, lack of structure, the chicken and feathers existence. The idea is to get you to the pleasure side. The pleasure side is when your business is finally doing what you designed it to do in the first place. Whether it's cash flow, whether it's revenue, whether it's profits, whether it's helping more people, whether it's making a bigger impact, whatever you started your business to do, eventually you need to get to that level. And The Grit is a book that helps you move your business out of the pain side and into the pleasure side. Look, great show today. We had my friend Coach Michael Burt. You can check him out at Michael Burt on Twitter, or go to his website, coachburt.com. Coach has a new book coming out in March of 17 called Everybody Needs a Coach in Life. Just to recap what Coach and I were talking about, he and I are 1,000% in agreement that you need more attention for your business and for yourself and for your brand. Look, Coach gave an example of one of his success stories, which is a real estate agent who works for a real estate agent. So don't think that what we're talking about is only for business owners. This works for you when you work for a company too. Everybody is a business inside of a business, folks. You need to stop with this employer-employee silliness. There is no employer-employee anymore. Everybody is in business for yourselves. I'm in the studio here with Dennis, my video production guy. Guess what, Dennis? You're in business for yourself too. You work for our company. You have a responsibility to push out content, good quality content that you get compensated for, but you also have a skill that could work at night, in the mornings, on the weekends. You are a business within your business, yes?
I'm always working.
I know you are, man. You're pumping it. You just need to pump out some more videos a little faster, baby. That's all sometimes. But you do great work, Dennis. I love the work that you do.
Thank you, Matt.
So let's get back to our conversation with Coach Burt. The first thing is attention first, money second. You need more attention. How do you get the attention? You got to stand out in the crowd. How do you stand out in the crowd? You got to be in a lot of different places. Man, you got to go to cocktail parties. You got to go to events. You got to go to community activities. You need to be on social media. You need to be writing blogs and doing videos. I'm sorry if that makes you freaky uncomfortable, but the reality is if you're not willing to do that stuff, your money situation will suffer. Look, it's an I Need More Money radio show. The concept of the show is I believe everyone needs more money. And the people that tell you that they don't need more money are one of two things. Number one, they have no money. Or number two, they have fallen into a very nasty trap that I call false positive.
2 minutes.
And a lot of people are in this spot where they actually think they have enough. And take it from me, man. When my brother-in-law got sick 2 years ago at 46 years old with 4 kids, no health insurance, no life insurance, and $100 in the bank, don't tell me that you didn't need any more money. And I helped him through that whole thing financially, and my wife helped emotionally with him. It was a terrible situation. And trust me, all I knew is I needed more money. Now, we did everything we needed to do to help him financially. They didn't have any financial needs because of our help, but I wished that I could have done even more. And you know what he wishes? He wishes he had taken out some life insurance, or he had stacked and racked a little bit more money, or maybe he hadn't bought some of the stuff that he had bought, that he had focused more on saving and developing a nest egg and having a cushion and generating more revenue. Because you never know when it might happen to you, folks. He just wasn't feeling well. He went to the doctor's office, and the doctor said, you got stage 4 cancer. He thought he had the flu.
1 minute.
You never know when it's going to happen to you, folks. You need more money. Don't take it lightly. This is the I Need More Money radio show. I'm your host, Matt Manero. I got a book coming out in the fall, too. Guess what? It's called I Need More Money. What to do when you wake up and you don't have enough. That book will be available everywhere. I got a real publishing deal on it. My first book is self-published. The new book is will be all over the place. A real deal, real advance. And I can't wait to bring it to the marketplace because I'm so passionate about this topic. Hey, I appreciate everybody's time today on the I Need More Money radio show. Till the next time we talk, thanks.
You're clear. Thanks, man. I have a good one.